Alright, we got a game. Let's just get right into it. I feel like we're probably going to be saying that quite a bit often. Anyways, this is a bit of a weird hand. It looks like you could go for a flush, but the door is another suit, and we actually have a copy of it in hand. So, it's probably more likely than not that we're not going to do the flush. As, before we even get a draw, this guy calls twice. Looks like they're doing a flush as well, so we might want to react to what they're doing at this point, especially since they are the dealer. We could, I guess, check their stats, but let's just pretend that, or let's just assume that they're playing correctly, or that they're trustworthy, I should say. So, what should be our game plan? Right now, I'm not super interested in dropping either of these Sozu, just because, well, number one, they're useful for our hand. Number two, they could get cheated by the dealer. That being said, they are dropping the once cut Haku. Should I be worried at the moment? I mean, our hand is shaping up to be pretty decent at this point, but then the question is, okay, if you want to make a block in the Sozu, then you won't actually need this 4 anymore, probably, right? Yeah. Because we already have enough sequence blocks in the Mansu over here. We'll find something around here. And if we're going to find another block in the Sozu, then we don't need the Pinzu anymore. And I mean, yeah, you could drop the green as well, but whatever. I'm just being a bit passive here. The door is in the Sozu, so, you know, even though they aren't showing any value right now, there's a pretty decent possibility that they do have value under that. Or in that hand. We're just gonna be a bit chill. There we go, that is a block. Over here is a bad block, but it's a block nonetheless. We still need to find one more block. 6 passed. We'll see how that goes. Red gets pwned by over there. We're not sure how exactly... Well, how should I say this? They're probably actually pretty close to Tenpai, considering they did drop a whole bunch of those middle tiles. So yeah, probably going to be playing defensively from this point on, although someone just won. Anyways. Next, we got red pair, we've got one Dora, we've got Dora acceptance as well. Also, potential chance for... what do we do here? Probably just drop the north. We can use this... I was going to say potentially chance for 79 Sanchoku, although that's probably not going to be happening at this point. Just because of our pair situation. Right now our pairs are 9 and 8. And if we use either of those as a pair, we can't get the Sanchoku, obviously. Because we need more tiles over there. Interesting. I think we want to keep the 8. So then the question is, do you drop this 8? Oh, sorry, the 8 mon, do you drop the 8? Do we really want to keep this 8? Maybe we don't, then. Because if we do draw the 7 over here, we are each on 10, right? And then I guess we could drop... Well, okay, that works too. Yeah. Come on. Explain what you're thinking. I'll go. Okay, fine. The 5 also helps us accept the 7. So even if, even if we backfire and draw the 7, we'll still be each on 10. And also, there's the idea that, well, the 8999 shape is pretty nice if we end up on it as the final weight. But I think it's still okay. Like, that's the main benefit of this 8-man over the 8-pin. But I think the other benefits of, number 1, the benefit of drawing the 7 is, sort of backed up by our red 5. And number 2, what is the other number 2? I think that's the only number. Okay, fine. Well, either way, I think that is a fair enough reason for us to drop the 8-man over the 8-pin. Maybe. Whatever. Future Moko can tell me whether... am I supposed to count this? I don't think so. But it's kind of interesting. We are going to be pushing, because this is 200 weight, 2600. What's going on over there? Someone pointing. Oh, well, okay, fine. Either way, we won. So it should be 7-13, right? Yep, it's a pretty strong win. Great. Moving on to the next round. Man, this game goes by so fast, quickly. This is a pretty interesting looking hand. I'm not sure exactly how to play it. But for the time being, I could probably just drop this 4. Although, if we're doing that, we could probably drop the 2 too. The 2 first. I'm just not really sure. The hand is not so good. So, what I would like to do is look for a bit of defense, maybe find some Yaku so that we can start calling. As of now, the most important Yaku is probably Sanchoku. Then the next most important Yaku is probably Chanto. Sorry, not Chanto. Whoa, what are we talking about? Hello. The most important Yaku is obviously the Yaku High, because then we can use any kind of tiles in our hand. For example, this 2-sided weight, which we won't be able to use if we do, if we get Sanchoku. Sorry, if we have like Sanchoku or Chanto or anything like that. So yeah, obviously the most important Yaku is red. But other than that, the next most important Yakus are probably somewhere around Sanchoku and then Chanto. Yeah. That was probably the direction that this hand was going to go in. However, well, we're not really advancing very much. So I'm wondering how much we really should be trying to build this hand anymore. Not really sure exactly how to play this anymore, but we'll keep some safe tiles around. Seems like a good enough plan to me. After trying the Dora, how excited are we really? I'm not sure, but we still got plenty of safe tiles. We got this 1 pair, which is safe against 2 of those. We got red, which is probably safe-ish. That was not the tile that I intended to discard, but looking at it, it seems fine to me, I guess. We are Ishanten with confirmed bad weight. We won't reach you if we get into Tenpai, unless, I guess, if we wait on the Kanchan, which is 2 out. Seems a little sus. Tell you what, I'll drop the 2 right now. If we pair up the Hatsu, then we can sort of start calling, which is kind of nice, I guess. However, if we draw the 4 over here, then I think we're gonna go ahead and drop the Hatsu again, because now we have 2 ways to get into a good weight. And, well, the 2 is nice too. The 4 just accepts a lot more tiles than the 2. So I'm more excited to keep it over. Hello there. I don't know what to do. Help. That 7-pin looked a little sus, because right now we're still not Tenpai. But now that we have the double Dora, like, man, this hand is actually pretty exciting. If we get into Tenpai. If we don't, then, well, it's not. Got 4-7. However, at this point, since 4-7 is also Britain, well, as for how happy we actually are about this, I'm not so sure. At this point, we kind of just want to chi into Tenpai, though. So having the good weight over here is fine. It's perfectly fine. We're just going to chi and take no Yaku Tenpai. Where? Is that Delian? Please don't. Also, I think technically we can get 2-3-4 Sanchoku now, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. At this point, we just want to get Tenpai. I think we're still willing to drop the 1 over here. Doesn't seem that dangerous. We can only deal with Shampoo over there, basically. Well, over there too, I guess. Though at this point, if we can't get into... that's not... Oh, that... that wasn't Tenpai. Okay, not Tenpai. Great. Yeah, so we weren't going to call that, obviously. Yeah. Alright, sweet. Moving on! 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. We got a dude over here. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop East just because it's once cut already. If it wasn't once cut, I might consider dropping one of these numbers instead because it would be nice to pair up. Yeah, similarly over here, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it because it's once cut. If we pair up anything, we're 1 away from 7 pairs each on 10, which is pretty... Sorry, 1 away from 7 pairs Tenpai, which is pretty sweet. But I'm also keeping the regular hand in mind as well, so that's why I would like to sort of just play it normally for now. Drop the 9, I guess. That being said, maybe I could have just dropped this 9, because we already have 5 blocks for the regular hand. So the 9 is only really useful for a 7 pairs-ish kind of dealio, or toy-toy. I'm not sure if this one was actually good or not. Whatever. We did what we did. The reason being is because, well, there's a bit more defense, leeway for defense when we stay closed and build for 7 pairs. And also, our weight is not really good at all yet. So, you know, we're probably gonna be forced to fold if we don't get into Tenpai, and it's gonna be pretty difficult to do that with such a hand at this moment. Here, could probably drop the 3. Could also probably drop the 4. Not sure which one's better, but in the end we're dropping both. I think it's likely that dropping that 6-man was better. I'm not interested in dropping this 9 right now. I don't know exactly what they're doing right now, but number one first, the 8s are gone, so we can't accept the... you know, the 8s in order to get, like, Tenpai or anything like that. Number 2, if they happen to be toy-toy, them dropping the 8 after the call might indicate that the 9 is a little bit dangerous. And I don't really want to risk that when we are still only 1 away from Tenpai, and not even guaranteed to have a good weight. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. 4 blocks for Taiyao means that we can probably head for Taiyao pretty nicely. Here, since we've advanced our hand once more, we can see that this 6 can be used as a floater to make a 5th block for Taiyao. There it is. And now we can sort of just start calling. Take a 2,000 point Tenpai, get 2nd place. It is not all last yet, but still getting... entering all last as 2nd place is pretty strong. It makes it a lot less likely for us to get last place, if you think about it. Because if someone sumos, well, generally we can only drop 1 placement. We might drop 2 placements, but because we are the dealer. But looking at the point difference, it's not too likely for that to happen. I'm gonna keep this 2 for a bit just because I think it's funny. But I probably should actually just drop this. There's the 2, there's the 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku, right? That is something that could have happened with his hand. But at this point, since our remaining block... I think we're actually just supposed to drop 2. Yeah, since our remaining block is this Kanchan for the Sanchoku, If we draw the 3 over here, if we want to get in order to get Sanshoku, we're going to have to, do we drop the 1? I don't really know, so I'm just gonna drop it. In order to get the Sanshoku after dropping the 3-mon, we have to drop the 6-7 pin, which looks really disgusting. Like, I mean, okay, you could drop the 7 pin and take a Liankan, but still, I would rather keep the good weight than the chance for Sanshoku. It's not like we really need the value anyways. Here, we're obviously chaining for any Tenpai. I mean, the value would be nice, obviously, but, you know, I think the shape is just better. It's better to take the shape. Question mark. Although, now that I think about it, I mean, taking the 2 in order for the shape improvement is also perfectly reasonable. As in, if we draw the 3, yeah, we don't get Sanshoku, but at least we get, you know, we get to improve this Kanchan. So yeah, maybe dropping the 2 is a bit premature. Thinking about it now. Either way, we're sort of just chilling. We're not Tenpai yet, but we'll get there maybe. We'll see. Been ready to call for Tenpai since, like, I don't know, 6 turns ago. Maybe not 6 turns ago. Whatever, I don't actually remember when we got into Tenpai. Do we drop this 3? I don't really know. But at this point, it probably doesn't make too much sense to Sakihiri, just because, well, there's also a possibility someone is Dama. Generally, at 3rd row, dropping the dangerous tiles before your safe tiles isn't usually the best idea. What do we do now? I don't really know, so I'm just gonna push. Like, okay, the problem with pushing 1 away from Tenpai is that, well, like, it's probably not gonna get into Tenpai regardless, if you push or not. Just because, you know, there's so few turns, and you have to get into Tenpai in one of those turns. Which, you know, isn't very likely at this point. All the while having to push tiles into people who may be in Tenpai already. So yeah, it's just really not generally a very strong play. What the heck is this hand? Well, we don't need value. So, do we? Hold up. Show me the moves. What do we need? 39 is not enough. 1000 all is. That's 2 Han. We already have 2 Han. Sweet. Cool. Fine, so we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of these and go for maximum acceptance. Efficiency, as they like to say. Obviously, if we pawn the east, we get even more value. So yeah. Don't need to keep these yakai, which are bad for acceptance. I mean, I guess I'll drop the 9. Still looking for shape, so we need to keep these middle tiles that upgrade our shape. As for defense, well, we've got the whites, which is, you know, amazing. Here we're gonna drop the 4 because we already upgrade our shape on the 5 and the 6 draws, even without the 4. So we don't really need it. Or it's less useful than the 5. Yeah. Because it just gives us fewer improvements. Here, we just have to take the Tenpai. Yeah. We're just gonna take Tenpai. The 8 Kanchan is one of the better Kanchans, so, you know, don't feel too bad. even if you're forced into this bad weight. The other nice thing is that this person dropped a 7 early, so they probably don't have 8s in their hand. Or it's unlikely that they'll have 8s in their hand. And, you know, this player is probably not going to want the 8s because they dropped the 5, although we didn't know that. I'm just observing that it happened right now. Also, I don't know... I'm pretty sure we're supposed to push. Boop. Alright. Pretty sure we're supposed to push again. Boop. What was I just saying? I don't remember, but whatever. Yeah, I don't think there's any world that we're going to be holding this anymore. Good weight, chance to get first. Although, okay, maybe if we get, like, something crazy, scary. The 7 is not crazy scary. I'll think about it, okay? I'll think about it. Because if we do deal into a Magan, we are toast, right? No, we're not. If we deal into a Magan from there, we're toast. But not if we deal into a Magan from the left. Oh. Well, we are going into Cell. And we're in third, huh? Okay. I sort of didn't get enough time to... Or I couldn't calculate which placement I was going to be in fast enough for that. Either way, next. Hand. A hand that I would rather not want to play, but, well, we kind of just have to do it. That's what happens when you get into South Extension. Okay. Kayao is probably the most likely direction for this hand. But, well, yeah, Kai are also nice. Winning any hand is pretty important here, just because it gets into second place, and, well, if you remember what we were talking about earlier, getting to second place in All Last is pretty strong, because even if someone sumos, it's very unlikely that you're going to, or it's basically impossible for you to get into fourth. As long as you don't deal in, you're not going to get fourth. That's how it works. That being said, and, well, yes, this isn't All Last anymore, but it's sort of like an extended All Last, yeah? Because any game, any of these hands can be the last round. Anyways, I feel like I should be a little worried for defense, but there's not really anything we can do at this point. Kind of, I think, maybe. Like, there's no defending against Toyman. There's nothing defensive to keep in our hand. Similarly, nothing defensive to keep against the player on our left as well. So, I mean, even if we wanted to defend, we just can't. So we're just going to play, normally. It also means, since they haven't dropped anything, you know, middle-y, they're probably not super fast either. So the necessity for us to defend is also not really that. Or there's less necessity for us to defend. It's less necessary for us to defend against someone who is not really Tenpai yet. Or who is not going to get into Tenpai very soon. As for the dealer, well, we've got plenty of defense if we need to defend against them. So, it's not a problem. What is this hand? Why is this hand so weird? We're just going to go ahead and drop this 3. We are Ishanten, right? We accept the 7 to 6 to pair up in order to get Tenpai. We can also Chi in order to get Tenpai. It's just really awkward because I kind of want a pair. Okay, that's a pair. Sweet. Now we're Kutsuki Ishanten, and we can sort of Chi a bunch of tiles in the Pinzu in order to get Tenpai in a couple of different ways. I don't really feel like thinking about it right now. But we should probably think about our hand. 9 could deal into the dealer, which is a bit worrisome. But I don't think we can really afford to drop any of these other numbers, especially when they could just deal into the player across. Well, we'll see. If you look at this shape, it's like an extended Nakabukure bulging shape. Drop the 4, don't deal in, please. Thank you, just had to ask nicely. I didn't think it was that likely to deal in, but still, kind of scary. Alright, we are not Tenpai, hey, darn it. Well, if we're not Tenpai, then we're just gonna drop the 3, right? Because it's Suji against them, and ish, sort of, I guess, maybe. Maybe the 6 is better, just because it can't deal into the dealer, but whatever, we're gonna do it like this. Oh. Alright. 39 does not end the game. We are going into South 2. Still 3rd place, which is a very difficult place to deal with, but, well, we just gotta play with what we've been given. And I'm not sure if pointing this was the correct play or not. I feel like it might have been just bad. Oops. But whatever. That's what I did. So, well, we just gotta play with what we have right now. Just like I just said. Play with what you've gotten. Play with what you've been dealt. Alright. Do we drop the 4? I feel like we probably do at this point. Yeah. Currently our Yaku, well, we had the possibility to get the 3, 4, 5 Sanjoku as a Yaku, but the problem with the 3, 4, 5 Sanjoku is that, like, even if we win it, we don't get it first, right? Or we don't get to end the game. So it's not as useful of a Yaku as, for example, the Flush, which could get us into first place. This one's interesting. I think we're just going to go ahead and drop the white. Yeah, we're going to keep the 2, 3, 4 now. It could pair up and turn that into our pair so that we can, you know, pull for Tenpai. Like so. We've got the 2 Chis, either the 7-so or the 2. And we can also extend around over here to get into a Flush Tenpai, for example. At this point, though, well, I think it's important to just take this Tenpai. So we are going to do that. Maybe I should have pulled that. Oops. Pulled that, drop the 1, take the 3, 6. Probably was better. Yeah, that was a mistake, I think. We still have some ways to upgrade this shape. I mean, I guess we count this, right? Yeah, we'll count this. Sure. That does increase our points. If we sumoed that, you know, that would be really good for us. But yeah, just doing this increases our food twice, which is like a 1200 point increase in points. It's pretty strong. It's like calling a half Ricci. Anyways. On to the next round. What do we do here? Now we are in first place, right? So we should be a lot more chill. Because as long as we don't deal in, we're never getting last from this point situation. That being said, I'm not really sure what to do. But, well, you know, the 1, which is next to the 4, is pretty weak. So I don't really have a problem with, you know, dropping the 1 for now. And just keeping these safer honors for a later date. See what happens with them. Alright, this is a really good hand, actually. Or this is shaping up to be a really good hand. Number 1, well, we've got, you know, 2 completed sequences, which means that there's a very high chance of us being able to get into sort of advance our hand with all these floaters that we have around. Number 2, we've got the 6, 7, 8 possibility, which allows us to call into Tenpai. Number 3, that could also give us value in order to end the game immediately. So yeah. And also, number 4, even if someone calls Ricci, we have defense with this pair of Norths. So it's like S tier in like basically every single aspect, which is like, that's pretty impressive. Good offense, good defense, good shape, good speed. Crazy. Anyways, so yeah. We're just going to be keeping these floaters still. I'm not sure if dropping the 4-pin was the best discard, but I figure that this, you know, accepts Dora, this one accepts Sanchoku. Means we also can call. So, you know, I don't really have a problem with it. Here, I think the 7 is a better floater than the 8. Yes, we lose the Sanchoku, but this 7 allows us to draw like 5, 8, 6, 9 in order to improve our shape. Here, the question is, what exactly do we do? Probably drop north, I guess, because I would like to keep the door acceptance. And then, well, we've got another north in our hand as safety. So that's not a problem. Also, we've got some other piles, you know, to fold against other people at this point as well, besides for the norths. So they're not as important to keep in our hand in the future. If someone reaches, we can just fold immediately. On command. I can fold on command just like that. Kapow. You're dead. I'm not a dog. I don't actually know how they do that. I don't know. What I mean to say is that I don't actually know what people say when they tell people to play dead. When they tell dogs to play dead. Either way, we are just gonna chill. There's no reason for us to risk anything that could remotely deal in. Number 1, we were in, like, what, Ishanten was it? Yeah, that was Ishanten. Number 2 is the 3rd row, so we're not likely to catch Senpai. Number 3, we're in 1st place. So, you know, winning, well, I mean, it would be nice, but it's not necessarily that important. Number 4, if we deal in, we get in the last place, most likely. So, yeah, very, very bad place to, you know, start being aggressive. That being said, this red is actually 100% safe, so we could actually, yeah, this is Tenpai. Getting this Tenpai is really nice, just in terms of our point situation. It means we get to stay in 1st. I'm just gonna go and swap this out. This 2 just passed. It would be funny if we drew the... Can we do anything with that? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I was wondering if we could, like, maybe sort of chi and then drop something safe to keep our Tenpai. But it didn't really look like it was possible. Also, I'm totally fine with pushing that twice cut north to get our Tenpai. I think it was worth it. Alright, either way, time to think. What is this hand? What do we want to do with it? How do we get a Yaku? It's all pretty tough. We're just going to go ahead and drop the Penchant over here. Here, value... I mean, it would be really nice if we got 2,000 points. So, if we keep door acceptance, for example, that would be really, really good. But we don't actually need the 1-2 for door acceptance, because even if we draw the 4 right now, we have the 6 to accept it. Other sources of value... Well, red 5s. So keeping just middle tiles in general would be nice. Sources for Yakus. We've got Yakai. There was the 6, 7, 8 Sanjoku, but I think it's too far at this point. It's not worth it. The flush would be interesting, but I don't think it's worth it. We just have too many blocks. Too many... We just have... I mean, yes, we have 4 blocks, actually, huh? In that case, maybe actually dropping the 3, for example, would be okay. Because, like, if you think about it... Well, okay, the 3 gives us 5 blocks for Taiyao. The problem with Taiyao is that, number 1, it's cheap. Number 2, it's no defense. Number 3, I don't actually know if there is any number 3 over there. But fine. It's cheap and there's no defense, so even if we win it, well, it's not that great. I mean, it's good, but, you know, we don't know where our second hand is coming from just yet. On the other hand, if we, you know, pair up the red, well, we're just right there. That's enough to get first place right immediately. So it's just pretty sweet in that respect. There's a Ricci coming from last place. We cannot fight against them with this hand, so we're just gonna go ahead and drop our safest east and just try and react. Try and play safely. Now we are 2 away from Senpai, but again, we're not going to be playing this roughly. I think we're supposed to drop the 8. You could consider dropping the white because, well, it does keep our Ishan 10, but, you know, I don't know. Probably white was better, actually, huh? Probably white was better. I'm getting a little scared of these Yakai that are nuts cut. But the problem is, like, yes, okay, if it deals in, we're gonna have a bad time. But also, with the amount of tiles that have passed, it's probably not that likely it's dealing. There's so many shapes that, you know, they could have, really. Oh my god. That was not the discard. That was not the discard I wanted to discard. There is a better discard there. I don't know which one it was. But, well, whatever. What happened. You Future Moko couldn't tell me what was the best discard over there. Either way, we got second place, so it's all good. Oh boy! That was rough. But we survived, so I'll be happy about it, I guess. Just keep on trying to play normally. Solid plays. And you'll be fine. And things will all be great. Thanks for watching. See you around.